It's an insane persecution complex, and some really evil people have taken advantage of it, talking about politicians, people like Josh Hawley, people like Donald Trump. Isn't that what we're going to next here? Yep, we're going to Donald Trump. Content warning. Trump was on with Stuart Varney earlier today. Apparently, the interview is batshit fucking crazy.
Now, Mr. President, thanks very much for being on the show this morning.
So, you know what? I'm not high enough for this shit.
I understand that over the weekend at a rally in Florida, you said that it was your personality that stopped Putin invading during your presidency. You want to explain that?
Well, that's very interesting. We start off with that one because if you remember when I was running in 2016, they all said Trump will get us into a war.
Right.
It's his personality. He's going to get us in. Actually, now they say it was my personality that kept us out of a war. So I think it was, we had a great 4 years, and shouldn't have happened what happened, but it did with the election, and now we have people running it. What's gone on with Ukraine should never.
I should have asked. I should have took bets on how long it would take him to mention the election. It was less than 40 seconds. If you guessed it would take him 40 seconds to be aggrieved about what happened in 2020, about being a sore fucking loser, you won the pony.
Never have happened,
Well,
Stuart.
President Biden goes to Poland on Friday of this week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
NATO state. What should he do?
I said it was tomorrow or Wednesday.
Well, it's very late. The cards are laid and the cards are out, and he's got a bad hand. He's given himself a very bad hand. He had a very strong hand before it all started. And it should have never started. Would have never, ever started if I were president. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. This is horrible. This is a human.
He was praising Putin. He was praising Putin's ability to invade Ukraine. He enjoyed it.
Tragedy, what's going on.
No, I do not. I do no. Sky Comet. No. Sky Comet has said take a shot every time he mentions the election. I do not endorse that. I do not want anyone to die of alcohol poisoning. Good Lord, this is a 10-minute interview. That take bets on how many times he's gonna mention it. I mean, I would say that, but there's gonna be a whole segment on it, surely. He's gonna just rant about it. Like the last 5 minutes of this interview is just gonna be him talking about the election.
He is not somebody that really mixes it up. He sits there and everyone tells him what to do and what they're doing, and he doesn't mix it up. He doesn't. He does. Look, it's very sad to watch.
I mean, his fake cards did some real damage. Like, he's not gonna be able to take over Ukraine, but he has fucking terrorized that place.
Taking advantage of us like they have. Even our allies, they take advantage of us on NATO. They take advantage of us on just about everything they can, and in particular on trade. I mean, on top of everything else, they take advantage of us on trade, and they're really telling him what they want to do, not what we want to do. So it's pretty sad to watch.
There's this discussion about whether we should send jets, MiG jets, to help the Ukrainian Air Force. Would you send in that kind of help?
Well, maybe even more, to be honest with you.
Motherfucker, he just admitted he would start World War III.
Let me just explain that Putin is saying things like, don't you dare send anything in. In the meantime,
what they're talking about right now is like there's this plan. I think it's Poland is wanting to they're wanting to like get their jets replaced by the U.S. and give some fighter jets to Ukraine. It might have been Sweden. I might be confused on this deal, but there was one country that we were wanting to do a deal with. But still any U.S. involvement could trigger a much broader conflict that none of us fucking want. I mean, it just seems like you have to let the child tire himself out now. That's horrible to say, but they've evacuated most people out of Ukraine. Just let them it's horrible to just bomb the fucking country out. What the fuck else? What the fuck else can we do? It's I don't want to pretend like I have any answers. I'm no foreign relations expert. That's for certain. But like, I always side on the side of like as little conflict as possible. None, if absolutely possible. I'm not a total pacifist. I understand that there are times that force have to be used, but yeah, there's nothing we can do that we haven't already done. The sanctions. I mean, we've talked about, you know, that also the effect on the Russian people. Could it radicalize the Russian people? I mean, like, sanctions aren't a good thing either. To specifically target certain oligarchs, that would be a good thing, and we've done that somewhat. Yeah, it's all bad endings, unfortunately. Thankfully, this motherfucker is not the president, though, because he would have absolutely made it spiral into a much worse conflict.
Time he's killing thousands and thousands of people. So he's acting like we're an aggressor. If we send in some old 44-year-old plane that probably gets shot out of the sky pretty quickly, and he's acting like we're terrible people if we do that. But he's killing tens of thousands of people, far more than they're reporting. You don't knock down those buildings and blow up those buildings and they say 2 people were injured slightly. And thousands of people are being killed. And when he says, don't you dare do that, and we all say, oh, he said don't do it, we don't want to start. The fact is that what he's doing is a human tragedy. There's not been anything like this, in a sense, maybe ever, but certainly since World War II when you look at it. But there's never been anything like this.
So what do you do now? You said you...
Honey, do you want me to tell you the countries that the U.S. has invaded and bombed indiscriminately from Cambodia, Vietnam, Korea, fucking Laos, goddamn, like I'm just in the like post World War II era right now. Fucking, I haven't even gotten to South America yet. Never been anything like this. No, a country has never just gone and asserted their will on another. Fucking the word banana republic was invented because of U.S. foreign policy, or we just went in and made ourselves at home in fucking countries. God damn, Trump doesn't know shit about anything.
You'd maybe do more than just send in the MiG jets, all right? What more?
What I would do is we have tremendous military capability. And what we can do without planes, to be honest with you, without 44-year-old jets, what we can do is enormous. And we should be doing it. And we should be helping them to survive. And they're doing an amazing job. But, you know, I was the one that sent in the javelins. I mean, everyone refuses to acknowledge that. And I took a lot of heat. And I sent it in very openly and glowingly. And they said, Obama sent blanket.
Dustin, that's not you. Like, that's a pretty decent proposal. Like, the U.S. ain't gonna make that fucking offer, though. That ain't happening.
That Trump sent javelins. Well, nobody knew how well those javelins would do and how well they. But those javelins that knocked out all the tanks, those were sent by me, and we sent them in large numbers too. I didn't even realize that
those were the javelins. He got impeached over that, by the way.
But let's do it. Let him have a chance. Who would have thought that they would have been
literally the munitions he was withholding from Ukraine?
That country
bragging about.
They need other kinds of help. And one thing I do rapidly is that get the oil flowing, because if you reduce the price of oil significantly, that war is going to end. That war is going to end.
Oil is under $100 a barrel right now. It actually went down during the Russian invasion. Weird.
And if you bring down the price of oil, and you could knock the hell out of the price. I had it down to $1.71 at one point. In fact, it was so low that I was afraid.
He did not. $1.71 was national average in February of 2016 when
that war is going to end.
Obama was in office.
Let me press you again on what extra military help you would give to the Ukrainians. You say you want to do more than just the MiG jets or the javelins. Yeah. What more?
Well, I think the drones are just as effective as anything nowadays. I mean, they make drones today. We have drones that are just as effective as just about anything in the air, anything you can do in the air. And you can do drones, plus they give back tremendous amounts of information. and the information leads missiles right to whatever the hell target they are, and you don't have to shoot them from Ukraine, so therefore you're being neutral. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, you can just shoot with American drones. You don't have to shoot them from Ukraine. So you're still being neutral.
We're going to just sit by and
Stupid
watch.
fuck. He is a stupid fuck.
100 years from now, they'll be talking about what a travesty, what a horrible thing this is. We can't let that. Just on a human basis, we can't let that happen. And then he says we're a nuclear.
Oh, I didn't even think about the pandemic. Of course. Yeah, gas was super low. Like, it was probably less than $1.71, wasn't it? I guess it was less in a lot of places, but $1.71 national average or some shit. But that number specifically, that was the low during the Obama administration. I remembered that. That number specifically, 171. So that's what triggered that. Like, that was Obama, stupid. But yeah, during the pandemic, it would have been like down in the like dollar something range.
Nuclear power, but we're a greater nuclear power. I hated to do it, but I rebuilt our nuclear capability like nobody has ever thought even possible. $2.5 trillion in our military, and a big chunk of it went to nuclear and redoing it. We had 45-year-old and 50-year-old.
Who allowed him to do that? I didn't authorize that. I didn't vote for that.
That's immensely powerful, and hope to God you never have to use it, because that would be the tragedy of all tragedies. But if we didn't have it, we couldn't talk. But I listened to him constantly using the N-word. That's the N-word. And he's constantly using it, the nuclear word. And we never talk. We say, oh, he's a nuclear power. But we're a greater nuclear power. We have the greatest submarines in the world, most powerful machines ever built. Most powerful, and they got built under me. Most powerful machines ever built. And nobody.
I don't think there was a new nuclear arsenal assembled during the Trump administration. Just because I feel like I would have heard about that. I would be at least tangentially aware of it, that it happened. And I've not heard anything of the sort. So I'm guessing this is where we're going off the rails, and this is where this interview gets batshit. That's not the N-word. He's just going around saying the N-word all the time. I imagine like Putin, just dropping N-bombs everywhere. But like I am now, it's possible that they had some, program that they were, decommissioning things at a higher rate, or were improving storage or some shit like that, and he's confused. But I do not think we added anything to our nuclear arsenal. We have been at a stall about decommissioning our stockpile. We had a treaty with Russia to decommission nuclear arms, and that stalled out, and now we're here. That kind of sucks. I wish we'd done that shit a little bit faster back in the 90s.
He knows where they are. And you should say, look, if you mention that word one more time, we're going to send them over, and we'll be coasting back and forth up and down your coast. You can't let this tragedy continue. You can't let these thousands of people die. It's going to be hundreds of thousands and maybe millions of people by the time it ends.
Well, I mean, you have no regard for hundreds of thousands of people dying.
They'll help each other during this war.
Yeah.
President Biden held this 2-hour phone call with
Putin isn't anywhere near close to your body count yet.
We're on the table, but we presume.
I think I do.
Mr. President.
We were threatened by China. I heard that he said, he read a line that they gave to him about the repercussions. They gave him a line, and he read it. She's very smart, okay? I dealt with all of them. I know them all. I know them better than I know you, Stuart, and I know you.
Sorry, I had to get in the floor there for a second.
And I congratulate you on the success of your show, because people love your show and they love you. But I know them better than I know you. And
if he's going to do it, I wish he'd go ahead and fucking do it.
He doesn't exactly get phased. He doesn't read like.
Well, wait until after WrestleMania. If you're gonna nuke the world, wait until after WrestleMania.
He made a threat, actually, to Biden, and that wasn't reported. So we should get a tape of the call, just like we did with my perfect call to the president of Ukraine, which is the reason I like him so much.
Oh, my God.
And now he's proven to be, because he stood up for me with that call. He said Trump did nothing wrong. He didn't threaten me. He didn't threaten me. He could have gone the other way, could have gone woke, like guys like Bill Barr do.
Do you respect Putin?
Well, he's a different person. I'll tell you something. I got along with him. And, look, I got along with him loving this country, and he loves his country, okay? But he's a different person than he was. He seems to be different.
Is he sane?
He looks different.
Is he
He's a different
solid
person.
mentally?
It just doesn't seem to be the same person I was dealing with. We had a decent relationship. It was very hard because of the Russia hoax, And I told him, it's very hard for me to do anything for Russia and for you to do anything because these horrible, horrible people that are, perpetrating this hoax, the Russia collusion nonsense, millions of phone calls. I never made one to Russia. Think of it. Millions of calls. They went through the phone records. Millions of calls, not one call to Russia. Well, it was a total hoax. It's come out. And the Durham report, I look forward to seeing more and more of it. I wish it could go faster.
Okay.
But I look forward to seeing more and more of it. But I will say this.
Sounds like Moscow didn't have a reason to do diplomacy with you because you were already doing what they needed you to do.
We did well with Russia. They didn't attack any countries under us. I'm the only one where that didn't happen. And with Bush, they took Georgia, and they took Crimea with Biden and Obama. And now he said, to hell with it, let's take the whole thing. But even Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd on NBC said the other day...
Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd.
Blinken, he said, how come this never happened under Trump? China didn't do anything. Russia didn't do it. Nobody did anything. In fact, and we got along with North Korea. How come none of this stuff happened under Trump? And someday you and I will sit down and I'll tell you why.
But, One day, he's going to sit Stuart Varney down on his lap. He's going to tell him why. Senate candidate Mo Brooks, who was a hardcore Trump supporter, he was one of the insurrectionists at the rally on January 6th. He actually met with Trump on January 6th. Guy comment, cheered 50 bits. Thank you. I don't know what those emotes are. That's weird. Mo Brooks actually slept in his office the morning of January 6th. He went to the rally with a bulletproof vest on under his suit. He gave a speech with a bulletproof vest on. He is now a candidate for the United States Senate. He's currently... Oh, yeah, that's I gave you power. Like I fixed earlier. There was no mod to approve you. I'll make you a mod. Mo wants to go to the Senate, but he also wants to fire Mitch McConnell once he gets there.
Brooks, candidate for the United States Senate in Alabama. Today, I unveil my pledge to America to fire Mitch McConnell. If elected to the Senate, I will not vote for Mitch McConnell for leader.
I can't believe I'm going to agree with Mo Brooks on something. I would love to fire Mitch McConnell. I absolutely... First of all, I totally endorse you, Mo Brooks. Go for it. Fire Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell has been the absolute most... Probably one of the... if not the most effective senator of all time. Motherfucker played some hardball. He knew how to work the Senate. Please do everything you can to undermine Mitch McConnell. I'm all for it.
And I will do everything in my power to ensure that Republicans choose a conservative to be leader. America can't afford a Senate leader who is a weak-kneed, debt junkie, open border rhino Republican and who
weak-kneed
sells out America for special interest group cash.
Rhino! Mitch McConnell! Those are not like... Fuck, I will, you you don't have to hate the player, hate the game, everything. The motherfucker knows how to like play the game. You can respect that. I mean, I don't respect it because he's destroyed the fucking country, but Mitch McConnell, there is not a better advocate for conservative policy than Mitch fucking McConnell. Mitch McConnell is the reason why the courts look the way they do right now. Please get rid of one of your most effective legislators ever, you dumb fuck. God, you're so dumb. I've met Mo multiple times. He complimented my fingernail polish one time, and he seemed genuine about it. But if I had to guess, I would say it's one of those, like how to win friends and influence people things where like you just compliment people to like, make it like a politician knows how to work crowds and everything. If you guys have never met like a real politician, like if you've never met like a senator or somebody like that's good, a good politician, like the moment you meet them, you're like, oh shit, I see why you're a politician. Like they speak to you like you're the only person in the world. They like if like you'll hear stories that they'll like Bill Clinton would remember shit about some fucking reporter he met for like a minute or two. See him again a year later and will remember details about like their family or something. Like that's an effective politician. And like Mo Brooks had a little bit of that kind of charm to him. Like he was trying to make a connection. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. I like that Sky comment. Because I'm certainly cheering on Mo Brooks in his endeavor.
Today, Mitch's cash is coming at me again because I am a principled conservative and have President Trump's endorsement. That's the battle across America. McConnell versus Trump in a war for the heart and soul.
And that is the reason why this fall probably isn't going to be as brutal as it should have been.
He's determined to stop the MAGA movement and Donald Trump's endorsed candidates for the U.S. Senate. I urge my opponents, Katie Britt and Mike Durant, to join me. Do you stand with grassroots conservatives or Mitch McConnell and the Rhinos? Sign this pledge and tell conservatives you'll fire Mitch McConnell too. I hope Republican Senate candidates nationwide will sign this pledge and send a message to America that we stand with Donald Trump.
He's a distant third, though.
If you will support us, please visit firemcconnell.com. Saving America begins with electing a new Senate Majority Leader.
Distant third. He is not going to be the senator from Alabama. Unfortunately, he's still going to be the congressman